YouTube terms of service. 1. Your access by using or visiting the YouTube website or any YouTube products, software, data, feed, and services provided to you from or through the YouTube website. You signify your agreement to one of these terms and conditions. 2. Privacy policy incorporated here by reference. 3. You community guidelines if you do not agree to any of these terms. The Google privacy policy or the community guidelines, please do not use the service. Although we made an attempt to notify you when the major changes are made to these terms of service, you should be periodically review the most up-to-date version YouTube made in its sole discretion, modify or revise these terms of service and policies at any time when you agree to be bound by such modifications or revisions. Nothing in these terms of service shall be deemed to confer any third-party rights or benefits to the service. These terms of service apply to all users of the service, including users who are also contributors of content beyond the service. Includes the text, software, credits, graphics, photos, sounds, music, videos, audio, visual combinations, interactive features, and other materials you may view on access through or contribute to the service. The service includes all aspects of you, including but not limited to all products, software, and services offered by the YouTube website, such as the YouTube channel, the YouTube player, the YouTube deployed, and other applications. The service may contain links to third-party websites that are not owned or controlled by YouTube. YouTube is the no control over and assumes the no responsibility for the content, privacy policies, or practices of any third-party website. In addition, YouTube will not and cannot censor or edit the content of any third-party site by using the service. You expressly relieve YouTube from any and all liability arising from your use of any third-party website. You see, accordingly, we encourage you to be aware when you leave the service and to read the terms and conditions and privacy policy of each other website that you visit. YouTube accounts. In order to access some features of the service, you will have to create a YouTube or Google account you may never use. Another account without permission. When creating your account, you must provide accurate and complete information. You are solely responsible for the activity that occurs on your account, and you must keep your account password secure. You must notify YouTube immediately of any breach of security or unauthorized use of your account, although YouTube will not be liable for your losses caused by any unauthorized use of your account. You may be liable for the losses of you or others due to such unauthorized use. For general use of the service, permissions and restrictions, YouTube hereby grants you permission to access and use the service as set forth in these terms of the service provided that if you agree not to distribute in any media, any part of the service or the content without you prior to written authorization, unless YouTube makes available the means for such distribution through connection offered by the service, such as the player. If you agree not to alter or modify any part of the service, you see, if you agree not to access content through any technology or means other than the video playback pages of the service itself, the player or other authorized means you to make if you agree not to use the service for any of the following commercial approval, the sale of access to the service, the sale of advertising, upon insertion or promotion is placed on or within the service or content or the sale of advertising, upon insertion or promotion is on any page of an ad, below or website containing content delivered by the service unless other materials cannot obtain from you to appears on the same page and is of sufficient value to be the basis for such sales. Each prohibited commercial uses to do cannot include deploying an urgent video to you to or maintaining an urgent channel on you to promote your business or enterprise, showing you to videos through the player on an ad below or website subject to the advertising restrictions set forth above in section 4D or any use that YouTube expressly authorizes in writing for more information about what constitutes prohibited commercial use. See, if you use the player on your website, you may not modify, build upon, or block any portion or function of the player, including but not limited to back to the YouTube website if you use the YouTube deploy. If you agree that may automatically download and install updates from time to time from YouTube, these updates are designed to improve and enhance and further develop the deployed and may take the form of fixes, enhanced functions, new software module, and completely new versions. If you agree to receive such updates and permit you to deliver these to you as part of your use of the deployed, and if you agree not to use or launch any automated system, including without limitation or online readers that accesses the service in a manner that more request messages to the YouTube servers in a given period of time than a human can reasonably produce in the same period by using a conventional online web browser, not tending the forward going YouTube grants the operators of the public search engines permission to use spiders to copy materials from the site for the sole purpose of solely to the extent necessary for creating publicly available searchable indices of the materials, but cannot caches or archives of such materials YouTube reserves the right to invoke these exceptions either generally or in specific cases. If you agree not to collect or harvest any personally identifiable information, including account names, from the service, nor to use the communication systems provided by the service, even G comments, email for any commercial solicitation purposes. If you agree not to solicit for commercial purposes any users of the service with respect to their content in your use of the service, you will comply with all applicable laws. YouTube reserves the right to discontinue any aspect of the service at any time. 5. Your use of content. In addition to the general restrictions above, the following restrictions and conditions will apply specifically to your use of content. The content beyond the service and the trade marks, service marks and logos beyond the service are known by or licensed to you to subject to copyright and other intellectual property rights under the law. The content is provided to you as you may access content for your information and personal use solely as intended through the provided functionality of the service and is permitted under these terms of service. You shall not download any content unless you see download or similar link displayed by you to beyond the service for that content. You shall not copy, reproduce, distribute, transmit, broadcast, display, sell, license, or otherwise exploit any content for any other purpose without the prior written consent of you to work the respective allies. Insertion of the content you to its allies. Insertion reserved all rights cannot expressly granted in and toward the service and the content you see. If you agree not to or otherwise interfere with security related features of the service or features that prevent or restrict use or copying of any content or enforce limitations on the use of the service or the content. There, indeed, you understand that when using the service, you will be exposed to content from a variety of sources, and that YouTube is not responsible for the accuracy, usefulness, safety, or intellectual property rights of or related to such content. You further understand and acknowledge that you may be exposed to content that's inaccurate, offensive, or objection. And if you agree to wait and hereby do away any illegal or rights or credit you have or may have against you with respect to and to the permitted by applicable law degree to follow and hold harmless you to its owners, operators, affiliates, allies, inserters, and allies, sees to the be allowed by the law, guarding all matters related to your use of the service. 6. Your content and conducting you to account holder, you may submit content to the service, including videos and user comments. You understand that YouTube does not guarantee any confidentiality with respect to any content you submit. You shall be solely responsible for your own content and the consequences of submitting and publishing your content beyond the service. You represent and that you own or have the necessary rights, and permission to publish content you submit and you license to you to all the patent, trade, secret, copy, right, or other proprietary rights in and to such content for publication beyond the service pursuant to these terms of the service. You see, for clarity, you retain all of your ownership rights in your content. However, by submitting content to you hereby grant you to worldwide non-exclusive royalty free and transfer a license to use, reproduce, distribute, prepare, works of display and perform the content in connection with the service and you and its successors and affiliates business, including without limitation for promoting and redistributing part or all of the service and works thereof in any media format and through any media channel. You also hereby grant each user of the service a non-exclusive license to access your content through the service and to use, reproduce, distribute, display, and perform such content as permitted through the functionality of the service and under these terms of the service. The above license is granted by you in video content you submit to the service terminated within a commercially reasonable time after you remove or delete your videos from the service. You understand and agree, however, that YouTube may retain but may not display, to distribute, or perform several copies of your videos that have been removed or deleted above all is granted by you in user comments. You submit our perpetual and irrevocability. You further agree that content you submit to the service will not contain third party copy or right to get materials or materials that's subject to each other. Third party proprietary rights, unless you have permission from the right owner of the materials or you are otherwise legally to post the materials and to grant you to all of the license rights granted here. If you further agree that you will not submit to the service any content or other materials that's contrary to the YouTube community guidelines, which may be updated from time to time if YouTube does not orders any content submitted to the service by any user or other or any opinion, recommendation, or advice expressed there on YouTube expressly disclaim any and all liability in connection with content YouTube does not permit copy or right infringing activities and infringement of intellectual property rights beyond the service and YouTube will remove all content if properly notified that such content infringes on others intellectual property rights. YouTube reserves the right to remove content without prior notice. 7. Account termination policy. YouTube will terminate users' access to the service if under appropriate circumstances. The user is determined to be repeat infringement. YouTube reserves the right to decide whether content violates these terms of the service for reasons other than copy or right infringement, such as but not limited to or not all obscenity or excessive lettering. YouTube may at any time without prior notice and in its sole discretion remove such content or terminate users' account for submitting such materials in violation of these terms of the service. 8. Digital copy or right act. If you are a copy or right owner or an agent thereof and believe that any content infringes upon your copy or rights, you may submit a notification pursuant to the Digital Copy or Right Act by providing a copy or right agent with the following information in writing, physical or electronic, the signature of a person authorized to act on behalf of the owner of an exclusive right that's allegedly infringed identification of the copy or right to get work claimed to have been infringed, or if multiple copy or right to get works at a single notification, a representative list of such works at the site identification of the materials that's claimed to be infringing or to be the subject of infringing activity and that's to be removed or access to which is to be disabled and information reasonably sufficient to permit the service provider to locate the materials information reasonably sufficient to permit the service provider to contact you such as an address, telephone number, and if available, an electronic email. Take that you have had a good faith, the belief that for use of the materials in the matter complained of is not authorized by the copy or right owner, its agent, or the law. And it's taken that the information in the notification is accurate and under a penalty of perjury that you are authorized to act on behalf of the owner of an exclusive right that's allegedly infringed. You may direct copy or right infringement notification to our page at 901 Secretary New Science Note 9466. Email copy right at youtube.com fax 650 872 85 13 for clarity only code should go to the copy right page on any other feedback and comments. Requests for technical support and other communications should be directed to you to customer service. You act not that if you fail to comply with all of the requirements of this section 5, your notice you may not be valid notice if you believe that your content that it was removed or to which access it was disabled is not infringing or that you have the authorization from the copy right owner, the copy right owner's agent or pursuant to the law to post and for use. The materials in your content you may send account notice containing the following information to the copy right agent your physical or electronic signature identification of the content that has been removed or to which access has been disabled and the location at which the content appeared before it was removed or disabled. That you have had a good faith, the belief that the content was removed or disabled was a result of no mistake or side identification of the content and your name, address, phone number, and email address. That you can say to the jurisdiction of the federal court in California, and that you will accept service of the process from the person who provided notification of the alleged infringement. If account notice is received by the copy right agent, you may send a copy of the account notice to the complaining party informing that person that may replace the removed content or series it in 10 business days unless the copy right owner files an action seeking a court an order against the content provider member or user. The removed content may be replaced or access to it restored in 10 to 14 business days or more after your receipt of the account notice at you the sole discretion 9 warranty claim. If you agree that your use of the services shall be at your sole risk to the permitted by the law, you to its officers, directors, or employees, and agents claim all warranties express or implied in connection with the services and your use thereof you to makes the no warranties or presentation about the accuracy or complete of this site's content or the content of any sites to this site and assume no liability or responsibility for any one player's mistakes or inaccuracies of content to personal injury or property damage of any nature whatsoever resulting from your access to and use of our services. 3. Any unauthorized access to or use of our secure servers or any and all personal information or financial information toward their for any interpretation or cessation of transmission to or from our services. 5. Any virus, Trojan, or the like, which may be transmitted to or through our services by any third party or 6. Any players or commission in any content or for any loss or damage of any kind as a result of the use of any content posted, emailed, transmitted, or otherwise made available by the services you does not guarantee or assume responsibility for any product or service advertised or offered by a third party through the services or any by services or features in any manner or other advertising when YouTube will not be a party to or in any way be responsible for monitoring any transactions between you and third party providers of products or services as with the purchase of a product or service through any media or in any environment. You should use your best judgment and exercise caution where inappropriate 10 limitation of in the no event shall you to its officers directors or employees or agents be to you for any direct and indirect special punitive or consequential damages whatsoever resulting from any one player's mistakes or inaccuracies of content to personal injury or property damage of any nature whatsoever resulting from your access to use of our services. 3. Any unauthorized access to or use of our secure servers or any and all personal information or financial information for any interpretation or cessation of transmission to or from our services. 5. Any virus, Trojan, or the like, which may be transmitted to or through our services by any third party or 6. Any players or commission in any content or for any loss or damage of any kind as a result of your use of any content posted, emailed, transmitted, or otherwise made available by the services, whether based on law or contract or any other legal theory, on whether or not the company is advised of the possibility of such damages. The foregoing limitation of liability shall apply to the laws permitted by the law in the you specifically acknowledge that you too shall not be liable for content or the defense or illegal conducting of any third party on the risk of harm or damage from the foregoing rests entirely with you. The service is controlled and offered by YouTube from its facilities in the United States of America. YouTube makes the note that that the service is appropriate or available for use in other locations for those who access or use the service from other to do so after their own vote and are responsible for compliance with local law. 11th, to the extent permitted by applicable law. If you agree to defend and hold harmless you to its parent corporation officers, directors, or employees, and agents from and against any and all the claims, damages, obligations, losses, liabilities, costs, or debt and expenses, including but not limited to attorneys and fees arising from 1. Your use of access to the service, 2. Your violation of any term of these terms of service, 3. Your violation of any third party right, including without limitation any copy or right, property or privacy right, or for any claims that your content caused damage to a third party. This defense and indemnification obligation will survive these terms of the service and your use of the service. 12. Ability to accept terms of the service. You affirm that you are either with more than 18 years of age or a man to pay to get my minor or possess a legal right or guardian and are fully able and competent to enter into the terms and conditions, obligations, affirmation, and presentation and warranties set forth in these terms of service and to abide by and comply with these terms of service in any case. You affirm that you are over the age of 13 as the service is not intended for children under 13. If you are under 13 years of age, then please do not for use. The service, there are lots of other great websites for you to talk to your parents about what sites are appropriate for you 13 to sign these terms of service and any rights and is granted may not be transferred or assigned by you, but may be assigned by you to without restriction. 14 general. If you agree that 1. The service shall be deemed solely based in California, and 2. The service shall be deemed past a new website that does not give rise to personal over you to either specific or general in other than California. These terms of service shall be governed by the internal substantive laws of the state of California without respect to its conflict of laws, principles, any claim or dispute between you and you that arises in whole or in part from the service shall be decided exclusively by a court of located in County, California. These terms of service together with the privacy notice and any other illegal notice published by you to beyond the service shall constitute the entire agreement between you and you concerning the service if any provision of these terms of the service is deemed invalid by a court of such provision shall not affect the of the remaining provisions of these terms of the service which shall remain in full force and affect the no waiver of any term of these terms of the service shall be deemed further or continuing waiver of such term or any other term when you failure to assert any right or provision under these terms of the service shall not constitute waiver of such right or provision you to reserves the right to implement these terms of the service at any time when without notice when it is your responsibility to review these terms of the service for any changes in your use of the service following any amendment of these terms of the service it will signify your decision to accept of its revised terms. You and you to agree that any cause of action arising out of or related to the services must commence within 1 year after the cause of action accrued. Otherwise, such cause of action is permanently barred to June 9, 2010.